Today we're going to be drawing this little duckling. So we're going to start like we always do by looking for the basic shapes. My printout is a little strange. I don't know why it did this line around here, but I'm just going to focus on the little duck. So his body, that's the biggest part that I see. It's sort of flat down here, right? And then it goes pretty large up there. So maybe almost even a semicircle, maybe, or a circle with a flat edge. So I'm going to start by sketching that on. I think I made it too high. I think I want to go a little wider. There we go. You know what that sort of reminds me of, like a turtle shell. If you were going to draw a turtle, this might be the way you would start. There we go. Okay, so then his head comes up a little bit above his body. So I think that's where my printout is a little bit awkward. So the head comes up a little bit above the body, and it's almost a circle. It could be an oval. And I'm going to bring it down halfway down the body. So if this is his body, his head is going to come about that far. So by looking and seeing where things are placed and where they're connected, I can see his head comes about halfway down his body. So my head was too small at first, but I'm making it longer. And the beak comes out just a little bit beyond the head. So not far. So there's the start of my little duck. Okay, now let's get a little more exact with him. So I see, I'm going to go ahead and start with his head, I think, and then come back to his body. So what I see with his head, I see it coming out like this, around like that. Again, my printout is not great on this little duck. My black and white one was a little too dark. And then I'm going to come down like this. So the little duck's head, it comes in a little bit where the eye is and then out again. So I'm going to erase these extra lines I don't need. There we go. Now for his beak, if I'm looking at this head, I see kind of this curve here is where his beak would come in. Do you see that? If I make that curve, his beak is going to start right down there. So if you make a big curve going down his head, that gives you the top of his beak. So the beak is a curved line here, a straight line there, straight line there. This straight line all the way to the end of the beak that we drew. And then I'm going to curve, and I'm going to meet this one back up here. So that's sort of a tricky shape. So let's look at that again. I'm going to draw it down here again for you. So the beak started with a curved line at the top. I see a diagonal line or a slanty line going this way. I see a curved line at the bottom. So look, these two curves. It's got two curves there, one at the top and one at the bottom. Then another slanty line up. And then another one from the top down to that. So that is a lot of lines, and they might get confusing, but if you just take them one piece at a time, you'll be able to get your little duck's beak on there. Now, as I'm looking at mine, I like this beak better. This one seems like his head is kind of wonky. But that's okay, I can tell that because his head is turned facing this way. So this side of his head is not as wide as the other side, and that's why my duck looks a little off. So I'm going to make this smaller over here. And that way his head can be turned. If I make this side smaller, now it looks like his head is turned, doesn't it? His beak still looks, I think maybe this should have been more slanted. I think that would have made his beak look better. So I'm going to do that too. But so this just goes to show you it is okay to make changes. If you feel you need to, go ahead and erase and make some changes. This is all practice in observing and seeing how things are connected, and I'm seeing that I had that a little bit off the first time. I picked this picture because I thought, he's a cute little duckling. He'll be pretty simple. He's got a complicated beak going on, doesn't he? But if you can get those two lines at the top and the bottom curved, then he's got that diagonal line, and one that goes out and one that goes down. You will have a duck beak anytime you need to draw one. You'll know how to do it. Okay, so I had made this line like this. Sort of, that was this line here is my guideline for a duck. And I see that as I'm following this up, one eye would be right here, right? And the other eye I cannot see as well. It's small and it's over there. So that's where his little eyes are going. And like everything living, I like to add the little catch light in his eye. You can do that for both, even though sometimes it's hard to see. So there he's got his cute little eyes. And ducklings are fuzzy, like chicks are fuzzy. So I'm going to get rid of these guidelines now. I don't need them anymore. But he does have a little bit of shading there, doesn't he? And then I'm looking at the body now. I think I went a little high. I think it could come down a little bit, but again, it touches his head there, doesn't it? I think if it comes down like that, I'm trying to make sure I like the size of it, and I think I do. And maybe come over a little more, not quite as big as I made him, but generally I think I like it. These almost look like these could be his little feet, don't they? If I had stuck these beaks right here. But I'm going to put this duckling in some water, so I am not going to worry about his feet. And the way I'm putting him in water is I'm drawing a line across the bottom of him and then some out to the sides. And look, he suddenly looks like he's swimming. Also, I think I should erase these beaks because I keep thinking they're feet. So we don't want those. Okay, now let's fluff up this little duckling. I drew this line lightly so I can erase it. Probably should have even gone a little lighter and erase this line on his head where I really could have gone a little lighter. But you know what? It's okay because I can still see my lines, which is good. Because what I want to do, if you want to keep your water lines fairly straight, or I guess it could be a little curved for the duckling. But anyway, back to his fluff. I want to follow my lines, and I'm just going to make lots of little lines going in different directions. And this is going to make him look all cute and fluffy. And you can see his little feathers on his front. So remember, sometimes when we draw fur or fluff, we're going to draw it in the direction that it's going. And a lot of times, it goes like around like a sun. So pretending this is the center of my sun, these are going to go this direction. These are going to go this direction. Fluff, make all that little cute little fluff, and I'm doing it going different directions, these little lines. The shorter the lines, the shorter the fluff will be, so I don't want to make very long lines, or he'll look like he has long hair. But on his little head, I can make them shorter. I feel like this should come out more, but that's okay. I'm going to give him some more fluff up here. And then I could even shade him in a little bit if I wanted, like around his nose. But so what I did was I took out those darker lines and I went in and made these little soft fluffy feathers. And there he is swimming in the water. So feel free to send me pictures that you draw. I would love to see your ducklings. And I'll see you tomorrow.